My name is Levente Sabbath, and I will be telling you about the Civil War and some information about the Battle of Antietam. The last 4 days I went on a trip with my friends for my dad's company, Intelligence in Motion. We went to Harper's Ferry and Antietam to learn about these battles in the Civil War. In September 1862, General Lee tried to invade Maryland. He wanted to go further north to fight the Union. After the Battle of Harper's Ferry, Antietam happened in Sharpsburg, Maryland on September 17, 1862. This was the bloodiest one-day battle in America's history, and it killed 23,000 people. On this cornfield, about 8,000 to 10,000 people died from the north and the south. On the day of the battle, the Union walked down the rows of corn for protection.
And how high were these rows, Levy?
The rows of corn were about 5 or bigger.
5 bigger, what do you mean?
5 feet or bigger.
5 feet tall?
5 feet tall.
So these rows right here were 5 feet tall?
Yeah.
Right. So they really would have come up like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that give protection?
It gave protection because the people with all the cannons wouldn't be able to see them under all the corn.
What soldiers from what side walked down the corn?
The Union. Here we are with my friends at the cornfield. Here is Jonah, this is Rodrigo, and this is Alvaro. In this picture you can see there is a cannon, and this represents the place that Johnny Cook stood.
Now who was Johnny Cook?
In the Antietam campaign, this battery bugler, Johnny Cook, in the artillery earned a Medal of Honor in the cornfield at the northern end of the battlefield. He volunteered at the age of 13 to act as a cannoneer. He served through the war and was in 33 battles, receiving several wounds. At Gettysburg, he rescued his wounded captain and carried him from the field.
Very good. So actually, you know what a bugler boy was? What did the bugler do?
The bugler blew the bugle when they were
loading the cannon.
Loading the cannon.
Now, but when the real cannoneer, the real older cannoneer got shot, what did this little Johnny Cook do at the age of 13?
When the older cannoneer got shot, Johnny Cook would replace him.
He did replace him, right? That's why he got the honor. Right, these cannons were facing toward what troops? Do you remember?
The Union.
At the other end of the cornfield. Very good, Levente.
Here's a video my group mate Alvaro filmed on our iPad as we worked on this mini documentary. You can see all the kids and our teachers here. My dad is wearing booty shorts and a hat.
And where are we here in this video?
We are at the cornfield at the Battle of Antietam.
And those are the East Woods in the distance, right?
Yeah. And
what do you know about the East Woods?
The Union's...
Union troops?
Yeah, the Union's troops came out of the East Woods and attacked.
Why did they use those East Woods? What were they for?
I think they were for hiding, for the cannons, because the cannons
couldn't see them.
So the cannons couldn't see them.
Well, the people firing the cannons couldn't see them. Because cannons don't have eyes, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and watch this video. You ready? Let's hit play.
Here we are at the cornfield that the Civil War took place at. And those are the cannons that they used. this wasn't here. In the Civil War, the corn was very tall. But when they fought, all the corn fell and this whole place was plain. There weren't any corn. And there's some fences over there. I don't know if we can see them.
Now, as a surprise attack, out of these woods comes another 10,000 troops. Thereabouts. Under General Mansfield.
And there's Chris.
Unfortunately, when they do that, the Confederates just brought up 2 whole batteries of new artillery. So what they do? They fired them all right into the woods. And they drove the troops back. Okay? But it took another 2 hours. Okay? So, question? Bloody Lane, no. Bloody Lane's a little bit further over. We're going to get there next. We're driving. We're not walking. It's too hot to be doing that. I'm not a Civil War soldier. I don't walk that far. Okay, guys. Any questions? You want to go see the East Woods?
Yeah.
Let's go. Don't go too far in. Look at the purple flowers.
Off to the East Woods.
So this was the video of the cornfield. So make sure that you visit this. It's in West Virginia.
This is actually in Maryland and not in West Virginia. And on the next slide, you'll see it's in the East Woods. Mansfield, another general for the Union, led the Union to surprise attack the Confederates.
They had 10,000 guys come through these woods. These bordered what field did they border?
The cornfield.
Mm-hmm. Who's this?
That's Balaj, and that's Jonah and Liam right there, and then this is like our whole group.
Mm-hmm. Balaj? Who's that? Who is Balaj?
Balaj is my baby brother.
Did he enjoy this trip?
Yeah.
Didn't he think a real battle was about to happen? He kept on
don't
telling
know.
me that. He said, "Dad, when's the Civil War going to happen?" It's pretty funny. So this is where they led a surprise attack, right?
Yeah.
To fight the Southerners
And they also hid in these forests.
in these woods.
Yeah.
You remember seeing the picture of the fallen of the memorial for someone who died here
Yeah.
in 1862?
I
Yeah,
think
I don't
it
think
was
your group-
somebody that got bound in the forest in the
He was probably
wood.
killed.
Yeah, he was probably killed by the cannon.
And some of his relatives came back to honor his memory. He was killed in these woods. Your group didn't take
Was
a
he
picture
killed
of that.
in the Civil War?
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it had 1862, September 17th, 1862, which was the date of this battle.
On the sunken road, the Confederates lined up on the hill,
The trench.
the trench.
What made this road sunken? What caused it to...
The road got really sunken and deep because a long time ago a lot of wagons came down to go to the market, and it got the dirt. This used to be just all muddy and dirt, and the wagons pushed all of it down, so it was, and now it's really deep, like sunk.
So the Confederates used this as a trench? They were lined up here with their rifles?
And that would protect them from all kinds of guns, and the Unions tried to attack
The
them.
Union?
The Union tried to attack from up on the hill, and the cannons were, I think, on top of the hill, and then the troops came down and
The
fought.
infantry?
Infantry.
And why is it also known as Bloody... You said it's also called Bloody Lane.
It's also called Bloody Lane because a lot of people died in this sunken road, and a lot of blood was left there. So that's why they called it Bloody Lane.
And how did you and your group mates, Alvaro, and who else was in your group?
Jonah.
Jonah, how did you get up so high here?
We went up a tower that was built after the war. It was a memorial for the Irish army or something.
The Irish Brigade.
Irish Brigade. So we climbed up to one of the highest points, and I took this picture with the iPad from high up. And that's the picture of the sunken road. And you can see right there and here, that's where the Unions came down and attacked.
The Union.
Union.
Right. And why is there a memorial for the Irish Brigade?
I'm not really sure.
They all died here,
Oh.
led by Meagher. They were all killed. Yeah, it was a really, really bloody. Yeah.
I'll see you at the next slide in the tower. This is the Irish Brigade Memorial Tower, and here's another short video of me.
And what are you doing in the video?
In the video, I'm gonna talk some more about the sunken road, and I will just show you.
Are you at the top of the tower?
I'm at the middle, right there.
Or looking through the window?
And at first I looked down here, and then I looked towards the sunken road. Okay, so this is the street. Okay, so I'm going to show you the sunken lane right now. Oh, they were all the way back over there, where you see that big thing sticking up from the hills. The Unions came down and attacked the Confederates that were hiding behind in the sunken road behind the fences, so they'd be safe. And behind the zigzag fences right there, and they would have their muskets ready, so when the Unions shot them, they'd be ready to shoot them. Here we are at the Burnside Bridge at the southern side of the battlefield. This bridge crosses Antietam Creek. The Union crossed this bridge to fight the Confederates. But they couldn't cross because the Confederates had the high ground and were pointing the cannons down on the bridge.
You see that hill in the distance?
Yeah.
On the other side? Right over there. Okay, you want to point to it? Right there. It doesn't look that steep. But where you just drew the blue line, what's up there?
Cannons.
Right, there's a steep hill. It's like a little cliff. And the Confederates, that's the first place we went to. Right? And so how did they eventually get around? How did Burnside? Burnside didn't get around, but someone went around.
Some of the Union troops, I think, went a little further down the
Rodman.
creek.
Someone, I believe, named Rodman.
And
what did he find across?
he found a shallow part, which is called the...
Name of a car. The type of car, a Ford.
A Ford. And a Ford is when water is really shallow, so he crossed, and then he came and attacked.
Right. He attacked who?
The Confederates.
Right, up on the cliff, right? Where that blue line is pointing. Right, and you have the witness tree and the power of place. What are these things? What is this sycamore?
The witness tree, this was here 100 years ago during 151 years ago. And it was really small, and it was a baby tree when the war happened, but right now, this is when we were there the other day, so it's really old, and probably bullets went through it, but you probably can't see it because it grew bigger and it probably covered the holes.
So what did the tree witness, Levente?
The tree witnessed all the dead people.
The battle.
And
what's power of place mean? You wrote the power of place. We talked about that during our trip.
It's when a lot of people died here, and you can feel it.
Could you feel the presence of all of these dead bodies and pain and suffering?
And when I was there, I was feeling that the battle is going on right now.
Very good.
This was one of the last parts of the Battle of Antietam. When the Union finally crossed the bridge and went up the hill, they pursued the Confederates.
Do you know what pursued means?
Fought.
Chased.
All
right. Now, but why couldn't they destroy them? Do you remember what we learned from Chris? Someone from it was Riley, because each of you were... What general were you during the trip?
McClellan.
And what was McClellan's tragic flaw?
He really loved his men, and he had he had thousands of men that haven't even shot a bullet yet.
That hadn't even shot a bullet?
And since he loved them so much, and half of his men were gone, so he was too scared to put them in. So then...
Put them in where?
Put them into the battle where... And so then, what was the guy's name that scared him?
Hill,
when he came...
From West Virginia.
He came out the side, and McClellan and his soldiers weren't focusing because they were focused on the battle, and he just came and scared the crap out of them.
And killed a lot of them. I'm not sure if it was McClellan. It might have been another Union general.
That's what Chris said. It was McClellan.
Was it McClellan?
Yeah.
Okay. But then at the end of this day, 23,000 people are dead. He decided not to attack once the Confederates drew back.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake, right? And who fired him at the end of this war? This battle?
President Lincoln.
Right. Lincoln fired McClellan. And that's the guy you represented.
Yeah.
Because he did not pursue the enemy.
He was too scared to put in all his men, and he didn't. He failed at everything.
He didn't want more men to die.
Yeah.
He loved his soldiers too much. But historians say that had he gone after Stonewall Jackson,
they would have won the war.
And had he gone after Lee and Hill's guys, they didn't have too many reinforcements. They would have won the war.
Yeah.
But this was considered a tactical draw. But still, during your next slide, we're going to learn about what happened at the end of this battle. Something really important in history happened. You remember what it's called? Abe Lincoln issued it. It's about slavery.
John Brown.
No, not John Brown. That's in 1859. Yeah. John Brown was an abolitionist. You're right about that. But it was some kind of proclamation to free slaves.
He signed a
proclamation. Do you remember what the proclamation was called?
It was called...
We'll go look at your notes and find them, and we'll talk about it in a minute.
At the end of Antietam, President Abe Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation.
Because?
Because he thought the Union
won the war, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first step to doing what for slaves?
Freeing them.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the war, before he was assassinated...
In the play, right? In the opera. He was assassinated in the opera.
Right? I think he was watching, right? He got Congress to pass the 13th Amendment, which freed slaves.
Who did he get shot by?
What did I just say?
The Emancipation Proclamation led to the 13th Amendment that freed slaves.
Okay, good job. I think you're done your presentation. You want to say goodbye? Thanks for listening.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening to my video, and I hope you get to go to the Antietam Museum and check out the battlefield. Bye.